Lawyers have a lot of opinions. I know I am one, and I have a lot of opinions about things. Generally, I try to be honest with my opinions about things, but I'm also prepared to be humble enough to know that my opinions might be wrong and that data might, in fact, demonstrate that I am incorrect about some of those things. My name is Chris Hargraves. I am from digitalmarketingforlawyers.com, and this is Digital Marketing Mastery. A lot of the time, when it comes to breaking into uncharted territory, lawyers have opinions about why something won't work. Absolute classic example when it comes to social media. We know that as it stands right now, there are more than 1 billion people who use a number of social media platforms. And yet, there are some lawyers who persist in saying something like, oh, well, my clients just don't use Facebook. Really? Your clients don't use Facebook. So, the most interesting thing here is that this is normally based on a conversation or two that those people have had with one or two other people, and they say, oh yeah, I don't have a Facebook account. Well, that's fine, but in truth, you are not the entirety of our client demographic. And if you are, then we've kind of run out of opportunities to explore, so our marketing efforts might as well be spent on long lunches. But if you're going to form an opinion, form it based on something, because if you're going to tell me that your clients are not on Facebook, say, or you're going to tell yourself that because it's you who is putting the clamps on your opportunity. And yet when I open the Facebook advertising platform and I look to narrow down, just in your local area, people who might meet the demographic that you are looking for, accountants aged 22 to 31 who work in practices of 1 to 10 people within 50 kilometers of your practice, for example, they might be your referrers, and that's who you're looking for. And I find that in fact there's 32,000 people on Facebook who meet that description, which is the best you could give me. Then who's right about this? When you say your clients aren't on Facebook, what you mean is I actually have no clue who's on Facebook because you've never looked into it. So we need to be careful is the point of this. That's just an illustration. The point of this is not to talk about Facebook advertising. The point of this is to talk about knowing what your opinions are based on and whether that is a sound basis upon which to form an opinion. At the very least, be humble enough to know that you might not know that your opinion is a sound one. Sure, we need to make decisions, and sometimes we need to make decisions based on the information we have available to us. But if you give no exploration to the opportunity of you being wrong, then you're going to stay largely as you always have been. This is where you need to get over yourself a little bit. We all need to get over ourselves a little bit some days. And I think a dose of humility goes a very long way, because the risks of something going catastrophically wrong are pretty low in exploring these opportunities that you think might not work. But the opportunities themselves have an enormous potential upside. If you work in an area where a single referral could be $150,000 in fees, and you're not prepared to spend $200 on a Facebook ad that's well crafted and targeted to your people in some way, then I think, frankly, you're not going to see very much success in your digital marketing efforts. You need to be prepared to try things in a sensible way, in a way that actually is giving it a crack rather than doing it dipping your toes style half-heartedly. Put it this way. You might spend $100,000 a year sponsoring a rugby team, and yet you give your marketing team $1,000 a year to spend on boosting posts on Facebook and no actual guidance as to how they should be going about doing it. This is a bizarre mismatch of opportunities. Look at the opportunities that you're taking up and know what your opinions are based upon. That is the best way to go about doing things. And that is the end of this episode. I'm not going to do the normal calls to action. I'm going to tell you to do something practical, which is this. Go and analyze the most recent opinion you've had about something in the digital marketing world and see if it was based on sound reasoning or was it just based on your own flights of fancy. I will see you next time.